Every day, people wake up believing their lives are stuck because the world is unfair, because opportunities don't appear, or because destiny chose someone else. But look closer. Your life doesn't stay the same because the world is against you. It stays the same because your mind is repeating the same silent patterns that keep you trapped. Philosophers like Nietzsche, Kierkegaard, and Jung understood something most people never realize. Our lives don't stay stuck by accident. They stay stuck by design. A design built out of fear, distraction, and self-deception. Kierkegaard said that the biggest danger is losing oneself without even noticing. Jung showed that what we refuse to face in ourselves comes back as fate. And Nietzsche warned that if you don't create your own order, you will be swallowed by the herd. You feel your life on repeat. Same habits, same patterns, same emotions, same invisible wall. You want to move forward, but something pulls you back into the same chaos. In this video, we're going to dive into the psychology of chaos. Why your life never moves forward, and how thinkers like Jung, Nietzsche, the Stoics, and Dostoevsky can help you break that cycle. We're not just going to talk about mindset as a cliché. We're going to dissect the invisible structures inside your mind and build a practical framework to create inner order. By the end, you won't just understand why you're stuck. You'll know exactly where the chaos lives in you and how to start taking your life back from it. The law of the fragmented self. You cannot move forward if you are not one person. A fragmented self creates a fragmented life. Kierkegaard described the self as a relation that relates itself to itself. When that relation is broken, you become divided. The part of you that knows what you should do and the part that refuses to do it. Jung would call this the conflict between the ego and the shadow. What you show versus what you hide, even from yourself. This inner division generates chaos, indecision, anxiety, and paralysis. Think of Dostoevsky's characters. In Crime and Punishment, Raskolnikov believes he is above morality, yet his conscience tears him apart after the crime. Two selves living in one body, the self that wants power and the self that demands meaning. The result? Torment, confusion, inability to move forward. He's trapped in his own psychological labyrinth. Today, you live the same split. You say you want discipline, but feed your distractions. You want depth, but drown in shallow content. You want freedom, but you fear responsibility. You are one person when you imagine your future, and another person when you touch your phone. That gap between who you pretend to be and how you actually live is where chaos grows. Name your multiple selves. Write down the different versions of you, the one who wants to grow, the one who wants comfort, the one who sabotages. When you name them, you stop being ruled by them. Daily alignment ritual. Every morning, ask, what would the strongest version of me do today? Then choose a concrete action that proves this. One message sent, one page read, one task finished. Small actions that start making you one person, not a crowd. The more you escape discomfort, the more your life becomes chaos. Epicurus was misunderstood. He didn't talk about mindless pleasure, but about intelligent pleasure, peace of mind, simplicity, freedom from unnecessary desires. Freud, centuries later, showed that the mind seeks to avoid pain and pursue pleasure. The problem is, when pleasure becomes escape, it becomes a trap. Your brain creates a maze: pain, escape, relief, regret, more pain, more escape. In Greek myth, there is the story of the lotus eaters, a people who ate a sweet fruit that made them forget their purpose. No war, no mission, no urgency. Just soft, endless comfort, and total stagnation. That's what chaos looks like when it's disguised as feeling good. Today, the lotus fruit is everywhere. Scrolling, junk food, meaningless validation, constant entertainment. Your projects don't move. Your mind is always tired. Days pass, nothing changes. But there's always a new distraction waiting to numb you. Create islands of controlled discomfort, 25 minutes of deep work with your phone in another room. Cold shower. Speaking a truth you always avoid. You train your brain to stop running away. Pleasure as a reward, not as anesthesia. You only consume certain pleasures after completing a meaningful task. This rewires the link. Effort, reward, instead of boredom, escape. You say you want freedom, but you fear what freedom demands from you. Sartre said, "You are condemned to be free." Freedom is not just possibility, it is weight. It means you can't blame destiny, your parents, or society forever. Erich Fromm, in the same existential vein, speaks about the fear of freedom. Many people prefer to obey rather than choose, because choosing means assuming guilt, responsibility, and risk. Chaos becomes a convenient excuse. If my life is a mess, it's not my fault, it's just the way things are. Think of the story of the Israelites leaving Egypt. They beg for freedom, but once they are free, they complain, want to go back, fear the desert, miss the chains. Freedom without inner structure feels like chaos. So they prefer slavery with structure. You do the same when you say, "I hate my job," but never prepare an exit. "I want a better life," but refuses to choose a path. Staying in chaos feels painful, but familiar. Choosing a direction feels terrifying, because you can fail. Choose a field to claim authorship of, not your whole life. Just one area: body, career, relationships, creativity. Declare, "From now on, this is my responsibility, no excuses. Make a pact with risk." Write down the worst realistic scenario of making a bold move. Then write what happens if you do nothing for 1, 3, 5 years. Compare. Usually, the biggest risk is staying exactly where you are. Until now, we have exposed the foundations of your inner chaos, your fragmented self, your addiction to escape through pleasure, your fear of real freedom. These are the invisible forces keeping your life in place, like a hidden script running in the background. But this was just the diagnosis. Now we move to something different, not how chaos controls you, but how you can begin to shape it. From here on, we'll enter the advanced tactics, tools used by the Stoics, by Nietzsche, by Jung, to turn chaos into fuel for growth. These next principles are not comfortable, they are not soft. But they're exactly what separates a drifting life from a life built with intention. Without an inner center, everything pulls you. With a center, you pull everything toward your purpose. For the Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, the world is chaos, but the mind can be order. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." The Logos is this inner organizing principle, reason, values, and direction that stay firm even when life shakes. Picture Marcus Aurelius in the middle of war, empire in crisis, personal traumas, illnesses, loss. Externally, chaos. Internally, he returns to a set of principles: virtue, duty, discipline, clarity. He doesn't control the empire by force alone, but by refusing to let the external storms define his inner state. Your life is full of noise, notifications, opinions, pressure. Without a center, you are thrown around by everything: news, trends, emotions, crises. With a center, you say, "These are my values. This is my direction. I will act from this place, not from impulse." Write your internal code. 3 to 5 personal principles. Clear, short, direct. Example: I do hard things first. I don't lie to myself. Reread this code every morning. Decisions filtered by code. Before saying yes or no, ask, does this align with my code or with my chaos? If it's only ego, only escape, only distraction, it's chaos. Suffering ignored turns into chaos. Suffering faced turns into power. Nietzsche said, "One must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star." He didn't romanticize pain. He saw that, without struggle, there is no depth, no strength, no character. Dostoevsky showed, in almost every novel, how suffering can destroy a man who resists it, but can awaken a man who learns from it. Think of the myth of the hero's journey. From ancient myths to modern stories, the hero always descends into darkness before rising. It's never a clean path. There's confusion, fear, loss, but the descent is not chaos by accident. It is transformation in progress. Your pain today, rejection, failure, loneliness, confusion. You can spend your life running from it, or you can sit with it long enough to ask, what is this pain trying to show me? Ignored, it turns into addictions, rage, cynicism. Faced, it becomes data, direction, and depth, a diary of honest pain. Write about one situation that hurts you. not as a victim, but as a witness. What happened? What did you feel? What did you avoid? This brings structure to emotional chaos, micro-challenges of courage. Choose one uncomfortable action that moves your life forward, a conversation, a decision, a project. Do it because it scares you. You teach your mind that fear is not a command. It's a signal. The story you tell about your life either organizes your chaos or feeds it. Tolstoy showed how entire lives can be built on lies we tell ourselves. Freud revealed how unconscious stories repeat in patterns. You choose the same type of partner, the same roles, the same endings. Jung would say that you are trapped in an archetype: the victim, the martyr, the eternal child, the outsider. The story becomes destiny unless you rewrite it. In many myths, there is a moment where the hero learns the true story, who they really are, where they come from, what the real enemy is. That revelation changes their actions. Nothing external changed, the narrative changed, and the narrative reorganized the chaos. Your current narrative might be, I always fail. I'm not that type of person. People like me don't win. These are not facts, they are scripts. And as long as you repeat them, you act according to them. Identify your dominant script. Complete this phrase. My life is the story of someone who... Whatever comes first, without filtering, it's probably the script. Rewrite the narrative in the present tense. My life is the story of someone who learns fast. My life is the story of someone that transforms pain into discipline. Use this phrase as a daily reference. Actions start to follow the story you choose to believe. Chaos is not just noise around you, it is the sum of your unresolved conflicts, your avoided pain, your unlived responsibility. But the fact that you're here, listening to this, means something inside you is tired of being dragged by invisible forces. Kierkegaard would say, you are standing at a crossroad. Nietzsche would challenge you to create your own order. Jung would remind you that the unconscious will rule you until you make it conscious. So here's your choice. Continue living as a passenger in your own mind, or start becoming the architect of your inner world. If this video spoke to something hidden in you, then this space, White Rabbit, is for you. Subscribe, not for another piece of content, but as a commitment to this journey, to understand your mind, confront your chaos, and, step by step, move your life forward with intention. Because your life will not change by accident. It will change the moment you decide that the war inside your mind is worth fighting.